Welcome back, YouTube. Today we are playing PioFiore. Well, we got our ending for our blind playthrough of Orlock's Route today. Um, you can watch me play live on twitch.tv Pinker NeonNova. Enjoy the video. The following morning, I woke up before Orlock did to prepare breakfast. Mm. Good morning, Orlock.
おはよ
Good morning. Oh, let me change your bandage. I sat next to him laying on the floor and unraveled the bandage around his arm. Thank goodness. It's not swollen. I did double check yesterday, and Orlock's Route is only 8 chapters, so we only got like 2.5 chapters left to go. And then all his endings. I wrapped a new bandage around his arm. Orlock? Huh? We should clean you up today. Let me help wipe down your body. Damn. Okay. This is where this is going today. Okay.
鉄道
Help?
いいできる
No, I'm fine. Orlock blushed and quickly pushed me back. This was no time to be blushing. I needed to clean him up to ensure his wounds were okay. Please stay still. It's hard to take your clothes off like that. We can't use your right arm like before. You can't use your right arm like before.
そう
Well,
だけど
yes,
あの
but
俺本当に一人で
I
できる
can really handle it myself. Damn, he's cute. Okay. Turning this down a little bit, just so the voices don't overlap as much. Coley's being a cutie. How dare he?
じゃあ
So
拭くのは自分でや
I'll
るから
wipe myself down.
脱ぐのだけ
Can
手
you
伝って
help me get my clothes off? Yes. Yes, I can. Oh my god. Are you sure about that?
大丈夫
Yes,
本当
I'm
に
fine. Really. I helped Orlock remove his clothes. I know it's innocent and sweet, but if it were anyone else, this would be rife with sexual tension, and I miss it. So I'm just gonna pretend. I helped Orlock remove his clothes. He looked embarrassed and apologetic. I handed him a tub of hot water and a towel. I was worried whether he could really get himself clean, but so far so good. Seeing that he was doing fine, I finally realized I was blushing too. I quickly turned around, thinking to myself that I had just seen his naked body. No wonder I was blushing. Boo, I should have got a CG. A few days passed, and Orlock's wounds were looking much better than before. I suppose he heals quickly too. But after checking his bullet wound, it didn't seem to be completely sealed yet. Orlok was probably able to move because of was probably only able to move because of the strength of his body and will. As I kept thinking about him, one day, I think I can move like before. Wait, you should rest a bit longer. We're lucky no one has found us yet. I doubt this place will stay hidden for much longer. We should really get going as soon as possible. But where should we go? In any case, we're running out of food. I'll need to go out soon. Absolutely not. What if you're attacked again? But we weren't in agreement on this. Suddenly, I heard a tapping on the window. Ah. My heart jumped, and I started shaking, but Orlok calmly went to the window. It's okay. It's my messenger pigeon. You have a messenger pigeon? Orlok brought the pigeon inside and took the paper tied to its leg. Oh. What does it say? His Excellency is in Berlone. You mean Bishop Rosberg? Orlok nodded briefly, and I listened carefully to the sudden turn of events. He came for conciliation because of the gunfight that ensued back at the church. But His Excellency probably also came to put you under his custody. It looked like Orlok was relieved and glad to hear of his arrival. The time to get you out of Berlone has finally arrived. Yay! I get to leave and I don't have to die. And the Mafia can stop fighting. Despite Orlok's smile, I couldn't seem to quell the anxiety inside me. Bishop Rosberg was well known and respectable. But I had my doubts, especially knowing now that he worked with the Lao Shu, and even from listening to Orlok's stories. Still, there was no way I could share my doubts with how happy Orlok looked. I'm really not sure if I can trust Bishop Rosberg. Others. Listen up. We need to be quiet today, okay? Okay. What's gonna happen? We have a special guest arriving, so we all need to behave. We need to clean up the church, so I hope you all will help. Okay. The main hall was charred and damaged from the battle between the Lao Shu and the Foul Zone. And this was where Bishop Josef von Rosberg was coming for his consolation. It wasn't going to be easy, but we needed to clean the place up as best we could. I can't believe I'll be able to meet Bishop Rosberg in person. He's so kind and compassionate to come all this way to see everyone. Why, yes, it is quite the blessing. I heard Bishop Rosberg goes to visit all the other regions as well. I wonder what he's like. I can't wait to see him. Oh, Elena, you're so cute. Oh my. I suppose we should hurry and get the place cleaned right away. Got you up on my phone. Thanks, Matcham. You're gonna listen to me do voices of all my Otome characters? Right. It's gonna get weird, okay? Soon enough, Bishop Rosberg arrived in Boulogne and came to our church. He looked up upon the people gathered here with kind eyes and began his speech. Listen, let's not be hasty. Okay. You might want to mute me because I get enough nightmares on my own. That's fair. Listen, I'm getting to the late chapters of this game, of this route. Some shit is gonna go down, okay? And I don't know what ending I'm gonna get because I've been making wild choices. I give my heartfelt condolences to all those who were harmed by the heathens of this town. I'm feeding the dogs and playing games, etc. Oh, have fun! Give your puppies good smooches. I believe that peace must come first before happiness. Come first before happiness will follow. Always. Good. Peace comes only to those with a calm heart. As such, we must pray to ease our souls. God will bless those who believe his words. God is always watching over us. What a wonderful person. I know very well the one who has been touted as a saint at this church. That is why I've been looking forward to visiting your beautiful town and Bishop Rosberg's speech was amazing. Bishop Rosberg was going around to each person here, holding their hands and talking to them. I'm sure this will lift everyone's spirits. How thoughtful. Excuse me? Yes. An old woman spoke hesitantly to Bishop Rosberg. I heard Lao Shu has been connected with you. Is it true? That is not true. As one of great faith, I would never approve of those who sought absolute rule in their own name. I'm so sorry for asking such a silly question, Bishop Rosberg. No, lift your head, my child. Having doubt in one's mind is not a sin. The sin is with those who seek to deceive others. Bishop Rosberg consoled the old woman with kindness and wisdom. The Lao Shu must have been lying all along. There was no way Bishop Rosberg would associate himself with the Lao Shu. Really? Bishop Rosberg's visit ended, and the people who had gathered to see him dispersed. We were at the refectory serving coffee to Bishop Rosberg. I heard the Lao Shu have been confusing the people here. Yes, indeed. It's truly despicable. Speaking of which, where is this living saint the Lao Shu have been boasting of? If she is associated with the Lao Shu, she must be stopped. Excuse me? I quickly raised my voice, hearing the conversation turn to Pink. That's me. That's me. The rumors have painted her in a bad light. She is absolutely not a bad person. Elena, calm down. I understand how you feel, but you are in Bishop Rosberg's presence. That is fine. Please go on. She's a very good person. I'm sure the Lao Shu were simply using her. It was the Lao Shu who called her a saint. Some people believed it at first, but now things are different. Yes. After the Lao Shu's gunfire here, their reputation deteriorated further. The people think she's the source of all the problems that have been happening in Berlin. They're accusing her of impersonating a saint. Word of that has been spreading like wildfire. Never once has she thought of herself as a saint. I see. What a poor soul to be going through all of this. Bishop Rosberg listened to my tirade with a serious look on his face. Hi, Rand. How are you? Did you have a good stream? Yeah, I saw. But you know, it happens. It can't be helped sometimes. Yay, beta games! I beg your forgiveness, but is it true that she is the one who appeared in your prophecy? How are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. While I was helping you out, I did a lot of work on my stuff too, so hopefully I can stream today and tomorrow. Because I did a bunch of stuff today. The Lao Shu have been telling everyone, but is it true? Yay! Have fun lurking. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna try and get to the end of Orlok's route tonight on the blind playthrough. Bishop Rosberg smiled at our questions. You will know when the time comes. Bishop Rosberg must be thinking about it, too. Unable to ask any more, I clasped my hands together. Dear God, please save her from these false accusations and clear her name. Bishop Rosberg arrived in Berlin and finished his consolation at the church. He sent message to us to meet him at the hotel where he was staying. We left the hideout early in the morning to avoid the crowds. This didn't feel right. Bishop Rosberg was staying at the most expensive and lavish hotel in Berlin. I'd never stepped foot in here before. This place was so beyond my reach that I felt uncomfortable being here. I had even heard rumors of famous people using this hotel when they had visited Berlin. Unlike me, Orlok was walking down the hall without any hesitation. I breathed a sigh of relief, seeing that he was walking just fine. seeing that he was walking fine, just like before. Orlok, have you been to this hotel before?
ない
No,
けど
but
間
I'm
取りは
familiar
頭に
with the
入って
floor
るから
plan. I suppose this was why he has been able to work as an informant. How did that make sense? Okay. We stood before the room we were to visit. Knock, knock, knock. I knocked on the door. It opened slightly. Upon seeing Orlok, the door opened wide and we were beckoned inside. A man from the church led us in.
陛下神託の
Your
聖女をお連れ
Excellency,
しました
I bring you the holy woman from your prophecy, Pinker. At Orlok's introduction, a man sitting on the sofa stood. This must be Bishop Josef von Rosberg. Pleased to meet you. My name is Pinker NeonNova.
あなたが噂の
Welcome,
私
child.
は
I
ヨ
am
ゼフ・
Josef
フォ
von
ン・ロズベル
Rosberg.
グ
That's an evil man right there. Bishop Rosberg looked at me with a sweet and gentle smile.
こんな危険な地に陛下が来ると
I
は思い
didn't
ませんでした
expect your excellency to come here
大丈夫
with how
ですか？
dangerous it has been. Bishop Rosberg looked at us with loving eyes.
あなたとブルロ
Danger
ーネ
is
の
not
人
enough
々が心
reason to
配で
keep me
いて
from
も立って
visiting
もい
you
られな
and
か
the
った
people of Berlone. The people of Berlone.
教会までもが
I
マフ
saw
ィア
how
の
the
抗争
church
に
was
巻き込ま
recently
れ
used
被
as the
害を受けた
backdrop
だろう
for war amongst the mafia.
本当に嘆かわしいこ
It is
とだ
deplorable indeed.
このままでは
With what
彼らは
happened,
神を
the
信じる
people
気持
here
ちを
may
失っ
lose
て
their
しまう
faith
か
in
もしれな
God.
い神は
I
決して
wanted
こ
to
の地を見
preach to
捨て
them
て
that
はいない
God
と
is always watching
暴
over
力に
us
怯え
without
る人
fail.
々に伝えたかった これまで本当に
I
大
can
変
only
だったろう
imagine what you've been through. Bishop Rosberg spoke to me with remorse on his face and concern in his voice.
しばらくはここであな
Let
た
me
を
offer
かく
you
ま
a
おう
place to stay here.
安心して休む
Rest
といい
assured you are in caring hands. Thank you very much, Bishop Rosberg. I bowed with the heartfelt appreciation at his kindness and stabbed him in the gut. In game. Yang took over me for a minute there. I hesitated to ask what was on my mind. Excuse me, but may I ask an impertinent question out of curiosity?
構わんよ
Yes,
何かな
child. What is it? The Laoshu said you ordered them to protect me. Why were you working with the Laoshu?
なるほどそれは最もな疑問だ
That is a very understandable question.
この町を私物化してい
It
る
was
ファルツォーネ
my
から
only
あな
means
たを
to
守る
protect
た
you
め
from
に
the
は
foul zone
それしか
looming
な
over
かった
this town.
教国には武力がない
As those who believe in
本来
God, the
神を信
church
じる
uses
心に
no weapons
戦
to
う
fight.
ための兵器など不要だからな
So, what about Orlok over there? Is he not your weapon? I'm smelling some hypocrisy here, sir. But Orlok is... Wasn't Orlok their weapon to fight? Bishop Rosberg continued.
ビスコンティはもともと
The
フ
Visconti
ァルツォーネ
originated
と
from
そう
the
同
foul
じく
zone.
する組織
It is very
両組
likely
織が
that
完
they
全
may
に無
still
関係
be
とは言い難い
connected in some way,
故にラオ州
which
へ
is
と
why
声を
I
かけ
called
た
on the Laoshu,
私の考
who
え
have
に
shown an
彼らも理解を
understanding
示し
for
て
our
くれた
predicament.
だからこそ
And so I have
彼らに
relied
協力
upon
も
them
した
until now.
だが
Unfortunately, it seems they hold views contrary to what we ourselves believe. Bishop Rosberg gave a heavy sigh. My lack of foresight has put you in harm's way. I truly apologize. I asked him, is your apology only directed at me? What do you mean, child? Your apology and your kindness were directed only to me. I was wondering if you were going to say the same to Orlok, who protected me. Orlok risked his very life to fulfill the mission he was assigned by Bishop Rosberg. He faced death in the battles that ensued and injured himself in the line of duty. Pink. The first person to respond to my words was Orlok, not Bishop Rosberg. I am a disciple. It's okay. I only do what is necessary. That's not good enough. He needs to... Hi, Yuki. One sec. Okay, I'm good. I forget that I try to do the very breathy voice for Orlok, and it makes me cough a lot. I forgot I had changed it to something less. Hi, Yuki. Okay, no more coughing. We'll do a different voice for Orlok. Okay. I am a disciple. It's okay. I only do what is necessary. If anything, it's my fault for putting you through all these dangers. True, your reports have been quite late as of recent. Shut up! You don't get to say boo about my boyfriend. But it is also true that the Laoshu have gone wild. What we know is that the root of all evil in Berlin is the Mafia. Your Excellency, I appreciate your kindness in forgiving my mistakes. Orlok, my little puppy. I'm going to murder Bishop Rosberg for you. I'm the yandere in this route. Orlok was completely blind when it came to Bishop Rosberg. I listened, hoping to hear words of consolation, but not a single word was mentioned to Orlok. I still don't trust him. I couldn't rid myself of the doubt in my mind. It would be much safer to take you back with me to the church. But I haven't received a vision since.
which
まだ動
means
かすべき時
that
ではない
now is not
と
the
いうこ
time.
とだろう。
Shut up.
そうですか。
I see. That's nope.
これは私の
I
力不足
suppose
だな。
my faith is still
すまな
lacking.
いいえ。信託とは
Absolutely not.
そういうものですから。
Prophecies come precisely when they are needed.
I understood what Bishop Rosberg was saying, but I still had my doubts about him. I doubt him so much. He's gonna run into my knife. He gonna run into my knife 10 times. In game. Bishop Rosberg looked at me earnestly and began speaking to me.
あなたは争いを終焉
It
に
is
導
God's
くもの
word
だと
that you shall
神は
bring
言っ
an
た。
end to this war.
私は神を信じてい
I
る。
believe in God,
あなた
and
も
it is
そう
the
だろ
same with you, is it not?
It is?
では、今
If
しばら
so,
くこの地にとどまっ
I
て
ask
くれ。
that you stay here for
もちろ
now.
ん、そ
We
の身
will
は
offer
我
you
々
the
が守ろ
protection you need.
う。だから、どうか安心してほしい。
Rest assured that all will go well.
You're lucky I'm a teeny tiny little girl, or I would throw you out this window, sir. I'm good. I'm good. I swear I'm good. Boop boop ba doop.
私が願っているのは、
All I
この
seek
ブルローネ
is
の
peace
平和
to
に
come
他
to
ならない
Berlin
のだから。
at long last.
I could tell Bishop Rosberg wasn't lying, but he wasn't truthin' either. He spoke honestly and boldly as if he were a messenger of God. He's not. Where's the church, Twink? He'll fix this. Bishop Josef von Rosberg. Either he's a saint or he's... Anxiety was building up inside me. Contrary to what he said, I wasn't certain that I could rest assured just yet. Something was telling me otherwise. A woman's intuition. Okay. I'm good. Chapter 6. Yay! After meeting with Bishop Rosberg, we were led to another room in the hotel. I had never stayed here before. The room was incredibly beautiful, but that wasn't my concern at the moment. With me and Orlok alone in the room, I decided to ask him for information. Orlok, do you mind telling me all you know about Bishop Rosberg? We're gonna Nancy Drew this shit. We got this.
Why?
何か
Are you
気
worried
になる
about something?
I saw how much you respect and trust Bishop Rosberg. So I wanted to know more about him. I recall you told me how you met him before, but what happened after that? Did you live with him?
His Excellency is of the teaching authority of the
議典長を務
Magisterium.
めてる。
The Magisterium?
The council where the church defines various doctrines, rites, and liturgy.
That sounds familiar.
I am also with this ministry.
Really? A disciple in a teaching ministry?
Ooh, that was hard. I don't know why.
Seeing me deep in thought, Orlok nodded and went on to explain further.
Before, when you asked me about my role as disciple, I didn't share much, but I suppose I should tell you the details now.
Yes, you should.
The disciples are used by the magisterium to eliminate the church's enemies.
A murder hobo. Got it. Eliminate?
I know it sounds contrary to her teachings, but let me explain. The Pope is targeted by many pagan countries, so we're there to help protect his teachings and the purity of the people's faith.
Orlok paused and thought for a while.
You may have heard this before, but the Kingdom of Italy once stole much of the church's land. If the disciples weren't there, they would have assassinated most of our prominent members.
That's sad to hear, but I suppose such a thing would not have been impossible. The church was blessed with the faith of the masses, so to prevent the church from becoming a threat, many of those in power have taken drastic measures against well-known believers. Other countries would certainly have much to gain in doing so.
A disciple's work is to go where they are sent. This honorable title is given to missionaries assigned to spread God's influence.
Okay.
They share God's word, save his people, and cover their hands in blood.
Okay. Hearing his words reminded me of when he was fighting the mafia.
There are many people I've killed. I will likely go to hell.
Okay, baby. It's fine.
But if there is a future of peace that awaits someone with my sins, then I would be happy. I am willing to sacrifice myself for God.
Religious trauma, the root.
Religious trauma, the root.
That must be Orlok's faith.
His Excellency raised me in the church to become a disciple.
Title of my life path. Right, Cole? It's alright. We'll just find ourselves girls to kiss and we'll be okay. That'll fix us. My glasses are hurting me. Hold on. I need to change them. All better. Orlok seemed to be recalling those days.
陛下はずっと
His Excellency
親
became
のい
my
ない俺の
guardian after
後
I
見
lost
人
my
になってくれて
parents.
た。神の尊さ、
He also taught me the
信仰
power
の
of
素晴らし
faith
さを
and the
俺に教え
omnipotence
て
of
くれたの
God.
も陛下だった。
Omnipotence. Omnipotence is quite a different thing. Omnipotence of God.
陛下のおかげで
I am who I am because of
Imano
His
ore ga aru.
Excellency.
I suppose Bishop Rosberg must be what Sister Sophia is to me, a special person.
そうかも
I
しれない。
believe so.
He nodded with a smile on his face. It made it difficult for me to share my doubts of Bishop Rosberg. Even if I told him, I doubt he'd listen to me, but... Orlok, I hope you won't take what I say in the wrong way. I actually don't trust Bishop Rosberg. Huh? I feel like there's some ulterior motive behind Bishop Rosberg's words. I think he may be lying. Remember what you said to me back then? It was the day we arrived at the hideout. I recalled the words he said as we warmed ourselves underneath the blanket.
俺は
I
幸
really
せ
don't
と
know
いうも
what
の自体
happiness means.
よくわからないけど、少なくとも
At the
自
very
分のことを
least,
幸
I've
せだ
never
と思
seen
った
my
こと
life
は
as something
な
to
か
be
った。
happy about.
もちろん
Of
不
course,
幸せだと思ったこと
that
は
also means
ない
I've
けど、
never felt down on my luck before.
俺のことを
If
拾っ
anything,
てくれる人がいた。
I'm blessed that someone actually picked me up.
だから
It was then that I wanted to tell him. That V isn't aligned with the rest of the letters. Or is it the R that's not aligned properly? You deserve better. You should be more blessed.
もっと恵まれる
More blessed? As in,
Do you remember what you told me when you told me that you were blessed back in the hideout? But
あなたは違うって思って
you
る。
don't think that I was blessed?
oh, I made a bad choice. God damn it. No, we're going to stick with it. There are many children here who were raised in a loving family. But if you were assigned missions without a chance at feeling what happiness is. I recalled seeing Orlok smile when he was playing with the children at the church. Perhaps he didn't know back then that he was smiling. Come to think of it, he mentioned that he couldn't smile like those kids. Thinking of his past gripped my heart even more strongly. You have the right to play and laugh and eat good food. Don't you think you deserve better?
でも俺
But
は
I think I broke him.
After listening to my words, Orlok seemed dismayed. He slowly began to speak.
確かにあなたと出会ってからは
You're right.
いろんなことを知っ
I've
た
learned a lot since meeting you. Maybe I didn't break them. I will later. But not this time.
子供たちと遊ぶと疲れるし
Playing with the children is
食事が
tiring.
楽しいってこととか
Having a good meal is enjoyable.
怪我をした時に
If
誰
someone
かが
is
そ
with
ばにいてくれる
you
と
through your
痛
suffering,
みが和らぐ
the
とか
pain can subside.
胸が温かくなるような
The
時間
time
を
I've
過
spent
ごせ
with
た
you has warmed my heart.
それは
That
事
much
実
I know is
だと
true.
思う
Orlok spoke slowly, as if recalling all that he had been through. He was tracing his past and connecting it to his actual feelings then. Back at the hideout, you told me that you felt joy and happiness like never before. You also said you may not have the right to say that. Pink,
本当は
I may not
いけ
have
ないの
the
かも
right
しれ
to
ない
say
けど
this, but
俺は
my life hasn't been
あなた
filled
と出会
with
って
this
からが
much joy and
これ
happiness
までの
before I
人
met
生で
you.
一番
Oh,
楽し
I
い
love
し
him so much.
嬉しい
Oh, he grew on me. God damn it, like a fungus. Cole. We started off by being like, meh, on his root. But he grew on me. But
俺は
I
任務な
shouldn't be
のに
thinking of such things.
そんな風に思うのは
Not when I have a
いけない
mission
こと
to
だ
fulfill. Why not? I don't see why you have to force yourself to not feel things. People experience joy and happiness, and they express that in words.
でも
But
俺は
I'm a disciple.
使徒だから
I need to fulfill my
任
duty.
務は果たさなくちゃいけなくて
Just because you're a disciple doesn't mean that you need to get rid of your emotions.
それ
But you're telling me that Bishop Rossberg has given you such a life? If so, I can't trust him after all. Ugh. Orlok's body was shaking. He looked at me with trembling eyes.
俺は
I care for you
あなたの
deeply,
ことは好きだし
and I trust you,
信じて
but
る俺にとって
His
麗華は恩
Excellency
人で
saved my life.
誰より正しい人
More than that,
そう
he's
思
just...
ったから今あなたが言ったこ
Right
とを
now, I can't
そのまま
accept
認める
everything
こ
you've
とは
said to me.
できな
Oh,
い
baby. Love me more than him. Love me the most. Orlok gripped his chest as if he were in pain.
あなたの言葉を
I don't want to
否定したいわけじゃない。
dismiss what you've said, but
けど
I'm sorry. Damn it. I broke him. After his apology, Orlok turned around and quickly left the room. Night fell, and I laid in bed with the lights off. I couldn't sleep. I looked up at the ceiling and sighed. I went too far. What right do I have to question their relationship in the first place? Every right. They dragged you into this mess. Question everything. Regret began to fill my heart, and I hoped that Orlok was okay. Still, I can't trash trust Bishop Rosberg. My distrust of him made me more worried for Orlok. I continued to think through the night. Before I knew it was daylight. Duty. Uh-oh. Gilbert Redford. Must we continue this? I can't say I'm thrilled playing host to someone from the church. Stop whining. If it turns out this Rosberg is scum, wouldn't you want to crush him? Working with a person who abuses the faith of others for their own advantage goes against my code. Oh, Oliver. Hi. You're so handsome. My favorite. I keep forgetting how pious you are. Yep. Another thing about that Rosberg. He's visiting Berlin for consolation. Now, of all times. I bet all he wants to do is get in touch with Orlok and that girl. I also believe that's his motive. If so, we'd better get moving. So, is it hard for you to get any intel on Rosberg? I'll do what I can, but the church isn't known for being an open book. I doubt he'd leave anything out in the open. Well, just do your best. We do know that money changed hands between him and the Lao Shu. I'm certain it was a considerable amount, but according to Yang, Rosberg cut ties with the Lao Shu. If so, it's likely he's already had his tracks covered. Oliver pushed his glasses up with a finger and then smiled. I love him, Chad. But the more money moves, the harder it is to hide the trail. I'll nab him. You just wait for the good news, Gilbert. All I ask is that you keep quiet. Yeah. You be careful. If you run into any danger, report it to me immediately. Naturally. Don't worry. And just leave it to me. He's so handsome. Why is there no Oliver Root? Annoyed. Oliver exited the lounge. I looked down at the newspaper in my hand. The living saint, Pinker NeonNova, was being lambasted on the front page. I don't blame them. The people who believed in her were tricked into giving money to the Lao Shu. Humans were dangerous where money was concerned. The pious elderly who had saved for their retirement were weeping in sorrow. The youth who had invested in the future were angry at being deceived. Yang would happily toy with the weak. The people will only be exploited further. No one believed what Yang said about the girl professing herself to be a holy woman. But even if Yang were just using her, that doesn't mean she is without sin herself. That's not how the world works. I needed to make sure that both Orlok and the girl paid dearly. Oh no, don't do bad things to me, Gilbert. Not like this. Meanwhile, murder! Dante Faldo.
I knew where Pinker NeonNova was from the intel I received from my soldiers stationed across town. But now was not the time to strike. Visconti couldn't apprehend them. I need to wait for the right opportunity. I needed to kill Orlok. It seemed he was guarding Bishop Rosberg at one of the local hotels.
Hotels.
I couldn't do anything against the church, as it would only worsen our family's position. Rage came across my expression. I couldn't suppress my anger knowing that someone from the church was in contact with her. She is someone who needs to be with the Foul Zone, not with the church.
Dante, you were pretty mean to me this route. Why would I come be with you? We're in a fight. Also, you're gonna kill me, so I'm not about that. Can't you just be nice to me? I told myself to stay calm. First, I'll kill Orlok, then abduct her, then put her under our custody. Okay, I'm back to being kidnapped. Y'all need to just not do that.
If she refuses, then I would only need to kill her.
Why? Why is everyone trying to murder me?
Holding back a murderous rage, I continued to wait for the time to arrive.
Before I knew it, it was daylight.
I brought you your breakfast.
Ah!
I'll leave the cart in front of your room. Feel free to eat when you're ready.
Unable to say anything after what happened, all I could do was listen as his footsteps faded away. I felt so terrible about what I had done. I needed to apologize to him, but I still couldn't get myself to think straight.
Me either.
'Cause I'm not.
The whole day, I stayed inside my room, thinking about Orlok. Still, I didn't know what to say to him. Orlok. I stood in front of her room. All I had been doing was bringing meals to her room. I don't think I should see her now. At least not yet. Which is why I wouldn't open the door. In the meanwhile, His Excellency was going out to town for his consolations. He was accompanied by another bodyguard, since my presence would be noticed. But I was relieved he didn't take me. I couldn't leave her alone here. Forgive me for interrupting. No matter. What have you to report?
I knelt down. I knelt next to His Excellency and whispered,
The situation has not changed. She has not left her room yet. I see.
His Excellency wasn't saying a word. He must be worried about her.
He could surely heal her suffering soul. I'm certain of it. Once he does that, she'll be able to trust His Excellency.
That's not how it works when he's a fraud. I believed in him. All that he had said thus far had been correct in its truth. It had been 2 days that Orlok hadn't opened the door to this room. He simply came by to leave meals in front of the door. I knew I should talk to him, but I couldn't muster the courage to do so. I hope his wounds are clean. I wonder if he changed his bandage. I'm not even sure if he's eating right. The more I thought about Orlok, the more worried I became. I recalled the days I spent with him back at the hideout. Orlok looks happy. Orlok, how does it taste?
It's very good. I like it.
That's good to know. I'll make it again next time.
Thank you.
He didn't express himself much, but he seemed happy when something he liked was served. After the days I spent watching him eat, I could finally read when he was happy or not.
You can't sleep?
I'm just thinking about things.
Don't worry. I'm here with you. No matter what happens, I'll protect you.
Right? It's got some vibes of that. Some little autistic vibes. Also traumatized boy vibes. Feral child vibes. Raised in a cage vibes. Which all three kind of overlap considering it's 1925 Italy. Whenever I was with him, I felt calm. The 3 cornerstones of religious trauma tropes. Yeah. Yeah. I knew I was safe those sleepless nights, as long as I could feel his warmth beside me. Despite the dangers, the time we spent together at the hideout was precious to me. Translation error. I want to see him. Suddenly, I realized what this pain gripping at my heart was. Is it love? Is it love gripping our heart? It was loneliness. Okay, close enough. From not being with Orlok. How long had he been so important to me? Times was missing the S for the cause of my loneliness, the difficulty in seeing him, it was all my fault. No. Woman, it was also his fault because you told him the truth and he did not listen. He be a dumb man not listening and respecting your truth that you saw and explained. I need to apologize to him. You don't need to apologize for shit. Me apologize to a man? I would rather die. Pink, I'll leave your food here. Ah! I opened the door and leapt outside. Orlok! Orlok turned around and looked at me with a surprised expression. I'm sorry, Orlok. I stopped myself. I shouldn't talk to you about in the open. Do you have a moment to talk? Orlok nodded at me a bit awkwardly. I let him in my room, then continued with my apology. I'm sorry. I overstepped my bounds. I shouldn't have said those things back then. I understand the message you were trying to relay to me. And I know you said it all for my sake. So thank you. Orlok thanked me, but I still had conflicting feelings about the situation. He still trusted Bishop Rosberg. That fact hadn't changed. But I'm glad I could break the ice with Orlok. After seeing him leave the room, I breathed a sigh of relief. It had been a while since I had seen his face. It's been 2 days. We'll live. That alone brought a surprising serenity to my soul. It's just going to autoplay this one. Dope. Reason. I decided to go and get something to eat. I wonder why. The food tasted good. I knew that the food served at the hotel was both expensive and delicious. Before I arrived in Berlin, I couldn't understand the taste of cooking. But now, was it because I met Pink? I can't explain it, but I think that's it. Pink was amazing. I'm amazing. The food here is good, but the food she made back at the hideout tasted much better than this. That's because I made it with a secret ingredient. Love. I wonder why. Hey, look, you get to see the main character so rarely. Look at how cute she is. Just being with her brings a satisfying warmth to my heart. Did you guys remember that she's blonde? And green-eyed. She's so cute.
彼女と話せないと普段の
But
調子
when
が
I
出な
don't
くて
see her or talk to her, it becomes harder to breathe
息
somehow.
が苦しくなる。
Matchroom, you've never seen her. She's very cute, though. You'd start a religious war for her, Cole? I know, right? Would you start a mafia war for her? Better yet, would you win a mafia war for her? Well, one involves religion. The other just involves fighting mafias, families. Because the gang started a mafia war for her. And won it. I always win my wars. Oh, one is fighting to be evil. The one's fighting about gang. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why.
彼女が
Is it because she's someone
聖なる存在だから
holy? Does this
みんな
happen to everyone who
彼女
meets
と接
her?
するとこうなるのかな。
I mean, we're literally driving Dante crazy. You and me. Specifically in this route. I thought for a while, but didn't get an answer.
あの時みたいに
I want to speak to her like before. I want to
彼
be
女
with
と
her.
話したい。
Hola! His Excellency returned late at night from his consolations. He called me to his room. Just making some peppermint tea. Oh, I should make some tea. No, no tea. I kind of want more coffee. Should I make more coffee? No, not yet. He called me into his room.
今日
I
私
received
は
a new
新たな信
prophecy.
託を受けた。
That's the wrong voice. I received a new prophecy.
それをお前に伝えよう。
Yeah. Coffee all day, every day. I will share with you what I heard.
それは
What
素晴
splendid
らしいで
news.
す。
Please let me
ぜひ
know,
聞
Your
かせてください。
Excellency.
陛下。
A new prophecy. I was sure it would help ease her soul. Oh yeah, you don't drink coffee. I forgot, Matchroom. I only drink coffee and water, basically. I have a problem. Or so I thought.
前回の信託は不完全なものだったようだ。ああ、
It seems my previous
己の
prophecy
力
was
不足が嘆
incomplete.
かわしい。
Ah, it was due to my insufficient powers. That's not how religion works. There's not a power scaling level in religion.
そんなことありません。
That's
信
not
託を
true,
授かる
Your
陛下は
Excellency.
神の祝
The
福が
fact
与
that you
えられ
heard the
た
word of
方
God
で
is
す。
proof of his blessing.
では、お前に
Very
信
well.
託の内容を明かそう。
Listen carefully.
はい。
Yes. His Excellency spoke in a calm voice.
神は、あの娘の死を
God
望んでいる。
seeks the death of Pinker. What? The death of Pink?
彼女が、このブルローネの不毛な争いを終焉に
Sure,
導
there
く
is.
ものだ。
The more
とい
you
う
pray
神
to
の声
devote
を。
yourself to judging people, the more miracles you can perform. It was in Sunday school. No, that's not how it works.
God's voice said that she will bring an end to the conflict here in Berlin.
Yeah. You can't see me, but I'm putting my hands over my face. I may be non-religious now, but I went to church before. We're not getting into a religious debate. But again, I don't remember there being like a power scaling level. Like, my power was incomplete before, so I didn't get the full prophecy. So now that my power is complete, I've gotten the full prophecy. Like, I think he just gave the prophecy if he spoke to people. I don't remember. Anyways, this is a video game. It doesn't matter how religion actually works. It's how religion works in this game. You just didn't level up enough. Okay, yeah, I got it. I didn't level up correctly. And that's why I failed. God's voice said that she will bring an end to the conflict here in Berlin. Needed to pray more. That means that her death will usher in the peace that is to come to this land. Her passing will bring the people of Berlin together as one. I had heard that story somewhere before. It's almost as if Yang foretold that this was what Bishop von Rossberg was gonna say. Need to burn more bones and level up your religion. Which means that God wants her to die here in the name of peace. Hi, baby. Hi, sexy. It's almost like there's a yandere who manipulates everyone around us, who could foretell that this is what some shady man was going to do. Because it's exactly what he would do if he was trying to control everyone and was a religious psychopath. But he's a little more direct with his murder. Because he's hot like that. Hi, Yang. Okay. Sorry, he's on screen. I got a little bothered. Whew. A pure maiden dying for the sake of us all will certainly move everyone to do something about the situation here. A RuneScape reference. No, the twink stops bad things from happening. All saints have died for the greater good, so your God may wish for her to stay here in a similar manner. I just hate that when I open my mobile game, it stops the stream. I just want to do my dailies. No, you just have to listen to me like lust after an anime man who I'm not even romancing right now. Sucks to suck, Matchroom. I couldn't hide my confusion. But I'm supposed to be guarding her. I don't suck. Indeed, we have her with us now. But that is making the town worse. Oh my god.
She will need to be with God. I'm so degen tonight. Oh my god, what's wrong with my life? The Lao Shu has made her center of evil to the people here. But if she dies, the people will learn that the true evil is the Lao Shu, and that she was merely being used as a puppet. That will urge the people to go against the mafia rule in this land. But that's... Pinker is to be with God? Yeah, he wants to murder me, babe. I couldn't seem to accept his prophecy. What is it? Yeah, I'm sussy. Not lewd. Just an adult woman. So obviously I'm say suspect things. Clearly. His Excellency is looking at me. Couldn't seem to accept his prophecy that you had to die. Huh, wonder why. It's almost like he's in love with me and realizes that he's being creepy. And suspect. His Excellency is looking at me. He'll be disappointed if I don't obey. I can't let that happen. I have to respond like usual. I need to nod and say as you wish. I understand the pain within you. All life is precious. But this is a sacrifice to save the many who live here. You need to save the people, as you have many times before. His Excellency's words were fair. I had done all that he had ordered until now. But I trusted in her. She was pure and full of warmth. Yeah, get him, Warlock. Shank him. And if he can't, give me the falsetto. I'll do it. Is that what God truly seeks? Will her death save the people? Indeed. His Excellency nodded solemnly. I haven't seen anyone still living whose insides were cold. I don't know. Okay, I need to take a break. I need some coffee. What do you guys want? Do you guys want some music? Will I go get my act together and get a cup of coffee? Okay. Have fun with the puppies. I'm gonna give you some music for a bit. And I'll be back. I'm back. Okay.
Sorry about that. Sometimes I just need something hot to drink. And my hot drink of choice is coffee. So I went and got a cup of coffee. And annoyed my cat for a quick moment. She's sleeping so peacefully in her little bed, in her little beddy bag. The hot drink of choice. Well, it's something about Yang. um. So yeah, I went and I was annoying my cat, so I picked her up in her bed, and she stayed basically curled up in her little croissant. So I put my hands under her little armpits, and I picked her up, and I went muh, 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 all over her forehead, and then I dropped her back down. And she's immediately curled back up after I went and got my coffee. So she's just laying there, happy as a clam. All right. Let's do this. Meanwhile, story ended. Okay. That alone brought a surprising serenity to my soul. Orlok. I stood in front of Pink's room. Aim. Uh-oh. Others. I breathed a sigh of relief after seeing the disciple leave the room. I was able to correct the public perception of my association with the Lao Shu. Even if the Lao Shu decided to say otherwise, the people will not believe in them anymore. Coffee. This whole spectacle had been a bother. I couldn't believe they would violate our deal and disclose our connection. I should have expected this from those heretics. Rude. But the Lao Shu could still be used. I suppose I could let them be. For now. I may be losing a key, but it won't be a major obstacle in my plans. All is well, so long as I ultimately gain control over this land. I can't allow the Lao Shu or anyone else to harm in my name or my position. That girl will die for my sake. Okay, will I? My head hurts. It had been throbbing ever since I spoke with His Excellency's words. Yeah, he's a bad guy. We don't like him. It felt like I had just been bludgeoned. This had never happened to me before, feeling so sick during a mission. Everyone will fight the mafia if she dies. That's supposed to bring peace. Which means God wants her to die in the name of peace. Yang. You know if Yang said it, it's not true. Come on, Orlok. Come on. Wrap your teeny tiny pretty little head around this. You can do it. I believe in you.
A pure maiden dying for the sake of us all will certainly move everyone to do something about the situation here.
I recalled what Yang said again. His Excellency's words were the same.
She hasn't done anything wrong. But she has to sacrifice herself? Does God really want that to happen?
The pain in my head was getting worse. I looked down at the palm of my hand.
What should I do? His Excellency has always shown me the way.
But was it always the right way, baby?
So, doubting him now means my life has been wrong all this time.
God would never sacrifice anyone. Looks to Jesus. When did I fall asleep? The sun had already set. I guess it's about time for Orlok to be arriving with my meal. I want to talk to Orlok, but I still wasn't sure what to say. But saying anything would be better than keeping quiet like this. I was slowly stirring myself awake when... The door opened without a knock. I saw a figure come through the doorway. Orlok? Orlok always knocked on the door. Seeing him enter like this was confusing to me. He had a grave expression on his face.
Pink, answer me.
What? What's the matter?
Something isn't right.
I could feel a strange tension when Orlok spoke.
Answer me, please.
Of course. I didn't know what was happening, but he seemed eased by my reply.
If you could save someone by sacrificing yourself, what would you do? Would you do it? Sacrifice yourself?
What an odd question. Do we want the bad end, Cole? Let's go for an end. I wouldn't want to die. I also wouldn't know for certain what I'd do until it happened, but if it were someone precious to me, and if that were the only way. Orlok, Sister Sophia, Elena, and everyone at the church. Their faces flashed through my mind. Then I would offer myself as a sacrifice to save them.
I see.
Orlok stepped closer to me.
Are the people of Berlone precious to you?
Well, yes.
If so.
Huh? There we go. Huh? What is... Vivid red blood was gushing out of my neck. Blood? My neck? Before I realized it, I was on the floor, my strength rapidly leaving me.
さようなら。
Farewell.
That was the last thing I could make out from his lips. My consciousness drifted into darkness. The end. We died. Anyways, let's undo that. What an odd question. I had no idea why Orlok was asking me such a question, but if my answer will help, then I'm afraid of dying. I wouldn't be able to decide right away, even if it was to save someone. He looked at me intently. I'm sorry. I know that what I said isn't what a true saint would say, but I'm just a normal person.
あなたは
You're
人間。
a human.
Yes, I am. I also think that I can do more for everyone if I were to live.
生きていたら
What
できる
would you
こと。
do?
No matter how small, each good thing we can do greatly helps someone in need.
生きて誰かのために
So you wish to live to help
役に立ちた
others.
い。
Yeah. Yes. And I would hope for all I would hope for in return is a smile. Oh, we're so sweet. I love us.
そうだ。
That's right.
笑ってもらえると
It feels good to see
嬉しい。
someone smile.
Oh, baby Orlok. He mumbled as if some kind of trance. As if in some kind of trance. Being alive means that I can meet those who are in need. In the same way that you've been there for people who need you, Orlok.
俺を必要
Someone
とする
needs
人に
me.
Why, yes. Do you remember how happy the children were when you played with them? I chuckled, remembering Orlok smiling and playing with the children at the church.
そうか。
I see.
He was deep in thought. After a moment, Orlok looked at me again and sighed. Orlok brandished his dagger, pointing it at my neck. Why is he... Woo! That's a CG. Let's look at it more. Right? This feels like a woman-loving woman route. A little bit. This is a she, her, they, them lesbians route. Pretty. Ugh. But Orlok wasn't moving. It looked like he was confused. The tip of his dagger was shaking, and too far away to cut me. He asked me another question.
もう一つ聞かせてほしい。
I want you to tell me something.
平和は
Is Is peace more precious than everything else?
What was Orlok trying to get at? I responded, we're just gonna panic save there. No. I thought I said no. Yes, peace is precious and something we should be working towards. But I think there is something more precious than peace.
That is
happiness. Peace without happiness isn't true peace.
Let's go. I did say no. Segsy time.
Orlok looked surprised. I tried my best to speak as honestly as possible. If the only way of obtaining peace was forcing suffering onto others, then the peace obtained through their sacrifices wouldn't be peaceful at all.
The peace obtained through suffering.
I know it's not easy finding a way for everyone to be happy, but I don't think we should give up. I saw tears starting to well up in Orlok's eyes. The tip of his dagger was still shaking, but no longer pointed at my neck. I can't. The dagger dropped to the floor.
I'm sorry. I was going to.
It's okay. I mean, it was scary, but I'm fine, Orlok. I'm sure you had a good reason. I trusted in him. There was no way he would do something like this without a reason. He was ordered to. That was his reason.
As a disciple, I've killed countless people.
Orlok slowly began to speak in a sullen voice that I had never heard before.
And today, I was going to kill you. But I don't want to kill you. Orlok, I want to protect you. And yet...
His words felt like his heart was screaming for help. What happened? Why were you trying to kill me? I forced myself to ask him for a reason. Orlok didn't say anything for a moment, but then slowly he uncovered the truth.
His Excellency has commanded your death. He said it was part of the prophecy.
Because he's a lying liar, lying face.
The people would awaken with your death and stand up to the Mafia here. He said that it was the will of God.
It can't be.
I always thought that His Excellency was a just man. I believed in him. I thought that fulfilling his will was what God wanted from me. I believed that what I was doing was for the betterment of this world.
Orlok looked down at his open hands.
But for all of that was worth, I didn't believe that you should die. Orlok must be having the same doubts I had about Bishop Rosberg. But doubting Bishop Rosberg meant that he was rejecting the life he had lived until now. Orlok probably doesn't know who to believe anymore. I could only imagine his suffering. But I wasn't able to give Orlok the answers he was looking for. Doing so would only make me do the same thing that Bishop Rosberg has done to him. Orlok, let me share my thoughts with you. It's wrong to take another person's life. It's something that can't be forgiven. You're going to hell, my sweet baby. But if the deed is done, one needs to atone for their sins. As a disciple, what I've done is my sin. I fought and killed with all I've had. Was I wrong all this time? Oh, baby, I think you knew. I think you've been known. My face is itchy. Coffee. When do we get a kiss Orlok? Where's my CG? Is there no meaning for me to live? Orlok? What you've done may have been wrong, and repentance won't bring them back from the dead. Ugh. But there is meaning for you to be alive. There is always meaning to be alive. Huh? I appreciate what you've done for me, Orlok. I'm still alive because of you. That much I know is certain. Orlok looked at me with a blank stare. Your feelings are genuine and pure. You may have been in the wrong, but you've sacrificed yourself in the name of God, haven't you? I took Orlok's hand and held it gently. It's painful, seeing you suffer like this. I'm not in pain just because you saved my life. I'm in pain because I love you. Pink. I had learned so much about Orlok from up close. I knew who he was. I couldn't just leave him alone. He was more than a regular person to be. He was someone with a pure heart who did his best to protect me with all his might. Soon after I realized who he was, I then wanted to protect him in return. I don't know who or what to believe, but his eyes weren't sullen anymore. They were alive with a powerful light. But I know I can believe in you, even if you aren't a living saint. Thank you. Now give me smooches. Mwah. I believe in you from the bottom of my heart. Orlok squeezed my hand in his. We need to get out of here. We're running away again. Yeehaw!
If His Excellency discovers that I didn't kill you, he will send another disciple to do it in my place. We need to leave this town. Huh? It's not just His Excellency. We have too many enemies in Berlin. Leaving town is our safest choice. Do we need to leave now? It must be now. If not, it will be too late. Can I say farewell to everyone? To Sister Sophia? I hesitantly asked if I could say farewell, but he shook his head sadly. I'm sorry. We can't go to the church. It's likely being watched. I wish to protect you, so I can't let you go where I know there will be danger. It pained me to hear that I couldn't say goodbye to everyone at the church, but Orlok is trying to save me. He turned his back on the person he most trusted, just for me. I need to make a decision now. Okay, let's escape. Together. Orlok's expression softened, hearing my answer. Okay, how are we going to make this go for 2 more chapters, game? He then held my hand firmly. We quickly made our way out of the room. Was there any place we could run to? I was certain the Mafia had soldiers looking for us out in the streets. Bishop Rosberg wouldn't let us get away so easily either. A pang of anxiety filled my heart. Even so, this was what we chose. A path that Orlok and I have chosen. We headed down a secluded alley to try and escape from town. Orlok went ahead to see how things were. He returned with some bad news. We can't go that way. What did you see? I'm not sure who they are, but they've blocked the street ahead. Orlok pointed in the direction we were headed. There was only one street leading out of Berlin. Escaping through the forest is one option, though perhaps not suited for the 2 of us. The forest is inhabited by wolves, so it would be dangerous to take you there. I had heard news of tourists finding their way into the forest, only to be killed by wolves. The forest would take longer too, which means we can't escape before sunlight. Is there any other way out? Another way. I assume the Mafia has the wharf covered too. It's my fault. I didn't think escaping from here would be so difficult. How about we head back to the hideout? His Excellency knows the location. It's too risky. We were out of options. After thinking a while, Orlok made a reluctant suggestion. Let's go to Strano. It'll be easy to hide there. Strano? Whoop. Yes. We can hide and wait for the right time to make our escape from Berlin. Strano is densely populated.
so we may be able to hide ourselves amongst the people. Then again, the place is rife with crime. But don't worry, I'll keep you safe. Orlok assured me that it would be okay. I'm not worried, Orlok. I know you'll protect me. Orlok quickly looked away, seeing my smile. While I wondered to myself about Orlok, we began to head towards Strano. Once there, we managed to find an abandoned home to take shelter for now. We cleaned the place up, dusting the rooms and gathering together what we needed. It wasn't in the best condition, but I was sure life here would be much better for Orlok. I'm sure I had some salted cod left over. We even have potatoes. I lit a fire under the pot as I thought of what I could make with our ingredients. Strano was very expensive when it came to food. I needed to use every ounce carefully. Making meals with the little resources we had made it a challenge to prepare daily meals. The oven you fixed is working fine now. Thank you, Orlok. I'm glad. Are there any other tools you need? No. We have all the cooking utensils and tableware we need. How about water? After dinner should be fine. Oh! I looked into the water jug. It was practically empty. Let me get some water. Orlok, wait. I'll go with you. We can carry more water back so that we don't run out so quickly. Understood. We stepped outside our ramshackle home. Huh? Aren't you? Oh, my. A familiar young boy called to me from behind. It was the young boy I met back when I went to do the provisioning. I knew it. You're that person from the church. What are you doing here? Well, I glanced at Orlok. Don't kill him, Orlok. Oh my god, he's just a boy. He looked sharply at the young boy. I hurriedly tugged Orlok a few steps back and whispered into his ear. No, Orlok. Having someone here who knows you will only increase the risk of our whereabouts being discovered. Even so, please don't. Orlok didn't say anything more. I turned around and headed back to the boy. I'm actually hiding myself. It'd be great if you didn't tell anyone you saw me here. I don't know. You little shit. Listen here. I said no, Orlok. I quickly pushed Orlok back again, seeing him put his hand into his coat. Jesus Christ, my murder husband's gonna murder. I'm just kidding. Sure. You want to keep it a secret, right? Not that I care whether you elope or not, but it's pretty shady for a sister of the church. Well, sure, that's right. I'm not a sister, but I suppose I should play along. Elope. For some reason, Orlok kept mumbling the word he just heard. So, what are you doing here? Were you going someplace?
Wasn't doing anything. I was just getting hungry, so I figured I'd search the place. Didn't make any money today, but maybe there are some scraps around. I see. I'm going to prepare dinner shortly myself. Would you like to join us? Huh? You sure? Yes. Consider it a friendly gesture. I recall being worried about him, seeing how thin and frail he was. We weren't necessarily well fed ourselves, but I could share my food with him. I wanted to offer him a meal, not just because he found us, but because I wanted to help. I suddenly turned around and looked at Orlok. He was frowning, as expected, but his frown disappeared as he saw me look at him. I'm sorry, Orlok. I just couldn't. There's no need to apologize. In this situation, your actions were expected. I understand being a busybody is a nuisance, especially with how things are now, which is why I felt relieved knowing that Orlok took my decision favorably. After fetching some water, we returned to our home. I prepared a meal for Orlok and our sudden guest of honor. Wow, this tastes much better than the food at the provisioning. He was happily scarfing down the food I made. I'm happy you like it. It's nothing fancy, though. Heck, I can eat this every day. You're so cute. Oh my god. Save. Well then, let's just say the meal here is your payment to keep you quiet. Keep me quiet? You don't say a word that we're here. In turn, you can come here when you're hungry. Is that a deal? Got it. It's a deal. Oh, he's so cute. My poor little orphan Annie. Orphan Andrew? Sure. That'll work. Coffee. How about it, Orlok? That's fine. It's your decision. And Orlok took the bread on the table and handed it to me. I can get more ingredients for an extra mouth without a problem. So you eat too? I was surprised that he noticed I was splitting my share with the boy. Thank you, Orlok. I smiled and took the bread from his hand after hearing his confident words. The boy gave us his name, Luca. Luca visited us at our makeshift home randomly and constantly. He came by in the morning and at night. He visited us practically every day. At first, Orlok kept his distance from him, but soon enough they began talking to each other. Time passed. It was 3 days since Luca last visited. Welcome, Luca. Orlok was getting worried, not seeing you here for a while. Luca! Baby Luca. What? Were you worried about me?
That's not it.
実はちょっ
You
と風邪
see,
ひいてさ。
I caught a cold. Huh? Are you alright?
うん、もう
Yep,
すっかり治った
all
ぜ。
better now. Orlok stepped in between us.
I don't want her to catch your cold.
Orlok.
なんだよ。
Oh,
姉ちゃん
come
じゃなく
on.
て、
Sis
あんた
is
にだけ
fine.
移してやる。
I'm gonna give you the cold then. He's so cute. Luca playfully tried to grab Orlok, but Orlok quickly sidestepped his lunge. I watched them both running around the place with a contented warmth in my heart.
You know, the town's been all weird recently.
Luca began to talk during the meal.
ちょっと前に来た峡谷の人、なんだっけ？
What's that church guy who came?
ロズなんとか。
Gross
移
something?
民だとかって話だ
That
けど、
guy's still here,
ず
you
っと
know.
いるよな。こんなマフィアだらけの街に
What
来
a
るなん
weird
て、
guy.
偉い人なのに変わってるよ。
Why'd someone like him stay in this mafia town? So Bishop Rosberg is still here in Berlin. Just thinking that he could still be looking for us gripped my heart in a panic.
マフィアといえば、最近はなんか妙におとなしいんだよな。
Speaking of the mafia guys, they've been pretty quiet lately.
普段はもっと小競り合い
Like,
とかあるのに
you
さ。
know, the Lao Shu are
Lao Shu とか、
crazy, right?
あいつら
Well,
乱暴
not
だ
a
から。
single fight from them so far. Do the Lao Shu fight often?
あ、姉ちゃんたちは知ら
Oh,
ねえの
yeah.
か。
You wouldn't know.
ストラノはベレーノに近いから、
Valeno's nearby,
たまにラオ
so
シュのや
there's
つと
always
揉め
someone
て
getting
殺
killed
されるや
around
つがい
here.
るんだ。
What for?
大人たちは大っぴらには言わないけど、
The grown-ups don't really say anything, but people come here to buy drugs from the Lao Shu,
だからラオシュに頭が上がらねえんだよ。
which is why no one here goes against the Lao Shu. Drugs? I didn't know the Lao Shu sold them. Not on this route, you didn't. And these days, have the Lao Shu been moving?
動き？うん。
Moving?
だからおとなしいんだっ
Like I
て。
said, they've
びっ
been
くり
real
するくらい
quiet.
何にも聞か
As
ねえんだ
in,
よな。
I'd never seen them so quiet before.
だから逆に不気味なんだ
Kinda
よな。
creepy, really.
街
This
全体
town's
が
never
静か
this
すぎる
quiet.
っていうかさ。
I don't know anyone in Strano, so your information is a lot of help.
この辺りのこと
Well,
なら。
if you need info on this place, you can count on me. Oh, Luca, you're so cute. Don't be an information broker. You should go to the church and live a long, happy life. Luca looked proud about what he knew. But when he spoke again, he sounded more serious.
俺は親がストラノの人間だから。
I was born and raised right here in Strano, so knowing this place, I can tell you,
正直
living in
ストラノでの
Strano
暮ら
is
し
the
は
worst.
厳しいよ。
Oh, tiny baby.
ここに暮らすやつは
Everyone here lives day to day, working so hard they can't do anything else.
余裕なんてありゃしねえよ。
We ain't got the luxury to relax. Tiny baby. Luca's words hit me hard. There were children his age back at the church, but he chose to live here in Strano. I guess he has a reason to stay here. Luca didn't talk too much about himself, which is why we didn't ask much about him.
けどさ、
Oh,
あんたら
but,
は
you
そう
know,
いうここの
you
大人
guys
た
are
ちとは
different from the
違う
people
感じ
living
がするんだ。
here. Luca gave an awkward smile. He must have seen the worried look on my face as I thought about how much he'd been through. Time passed. After dinner, we chatted a while. Luca looked sleepy. As I washed the dishes, I extended an invitation to him. Luca, why don't you rest for a bit? Did you just put your foot in the water bowl, child? I'm fine. I gotta get going. Luca walked slowly with staggering steps. I had a feeling he was about to drop. Orlok, can you keep him company? He's going to fall asleep outside at this rate.
わかった。
Understood. I finished cleaning the dishes and turned around. Luca was snoring on Orlok's lap. He's asleep? Orlok quietly nodded so he wouldn't wake Luca. He's sleeping like a baby. Yeah. Orlok was looking at Luca's sleeping face with an expression of kindness and care. That's a big stretch. Hi. What's up? Are you awake now? Do you want your dinner? Can you wait a few minutes? Even if it was for a brief moment, we enjoyed a moment of peace together. It was so calm in here that I almost forgot we were being hunted. After that day, Luca went missing. It had been a week since we last saw him. With the chill in the air, I could feel that winter was right around the corner. The abandoned home where we were staying had a draft that let in the cold air. I picked a loose plank and leaned it next to the opening to stop the cold air from coming in. I wonder if he caught another cold. I mumbled to myself absent-mindedly.
そうかもしれない。
Maybe.
それか
Or maybe he
他に
found
行く
someplace
場所を見つ
else.
けたの。
Orlok replied to me, knowing who I was referring to. Perhaps he was thinking about him too. I suppose that may be it, but if he did find someplace else, he could have at least said goodbye to us. I was sad enough if that were the case, but there was also part of me thinking it was something else. Maybe he was really ill and suffering out there somewhere. Or maybe he got into a fight and was unable to move now. My imagination was running wild. Orlok. I want to go and look for Luca.
あまり出歩かない方がいい。
It wouldn't be a good idea to go outside. But I can't just stay like this. Aren't you worried about Luca? He closed his eyes and thought. After a pause, he opened his
わかっ
eyes.
た。
Fine,
でも俺も一緒
but
に
we're
行く。
going out together. Thank you, Orlok. We set out to look for Luca. It was already late into the night. Strana wasn't very large, but it was dense with buildings close together. Looking for a single child here proved to be much more difficult than I thought.
もうかなり遅い。
It's late.
そろそろ戻ろう。
We should head back. Just a little while longer. Orlok raised his brow, but he sighed and followed me from behind. I looked around the dark alleys in search of Luca. Suddenly, Orlok, over there! I I saw a small figure laying on the ground along an alley near Strano's border. Luca! I ran to him and held him in my arms. He has a fever. I'll carry him. Let's hurry. Please. I wiped Luca's sweat with a cold towel. I had him drink some water, but his fever wasn't dropping at all. He's still hot, and his pulse is weakening. Luca's heavy breathing grew shallower. Orla quietly placed a damp towel on Luca's forehead. He's suffering so much. Why? Why isn't God helping him? Okay. I want to keep going, but this little monster is so hungry right now. So I need to go feed her. I'll be right back, guys. Why? Why isn't God helping him? Orlok clenched his fists and spoke words of pain and sorrow. Orlok. Luca was moaning. We quickly took a look at his complexion. Luca, are you all right? Huh? Sis? Luca was looking at me as if he was in a daze. Am I going to die? If I die, will I be with God? Luca, stop it. You'll be fine. Trust me. You'll feel better soon. We'll get a doctor to see you and... Luca's weak hand took a hold of my arm. His small hand was trying hard to hold me back. Luca? I stole things. I did bad things. So I probably can't go to heaven, right? Luca's breath seemed more pain, and his face began to twist in fear. Of course you can, baby. You're just a baby. You can go to heaven. Am I going to hell? Oh. Fuck this game. If Luca dies, we're quitting the game. No, I don't wanna. Please. Luca's voice was terrified. His pulse was weakening by the minute. A child at the church died from a fever. I was with the child until the very end. Don't tell me that. Don't throw this death flag on the field, game. His image overlapped with Luca's. It was happening again. No. Even if a doctor came, it would be too late. I gently held the hand that was holding onto my arm. It's okay, Luca. You just need to be baptized. Then, let's do it properly now. I'm gonna fucking... If I had hand tracking, you could see I'm covering my face. I swear to God. Baptism, a rite required to become a follower of the church, it is said to symbolize a new life granted as God's child, cleansed of its sins. Thanks, terminology.
You'll be able to be with God. Baptized? I am a member of the church with the authority to perform a baptism. I will make sure you can go to heaven. Orlok extended his right hand, but then he suddenly stopped.
What is it?
He looked hesitant. Am I able to administer a baptism? My hands have been covered in blood.
Shut up, Orlok. Don't have an existential crisis right now.
I may not be able to get him to reach heaven with these stained hands.
Orlok.
Orlok's right hand shook. God isn't with me now. God isn't with us.
Orlok!
I turned my back on God. Hearing Orlok,
Orlok, get a hold of yourself. We need to do whatever we can right now. You still have something you can do for Luca. So please.
You're right. I need to help Luca. Orlok slowly raised his hands over Luca's forehead. Luca, I'll baptize you now. Let us pray. Luca didn't respond. His eyes simply twitched a bit. Orlok dipped his hand in the water and touched Luca's forehead. Luke's forehead with a prayer. Translation error. Or just typing error that time. Don't worry. You will go to heaven, Luca.
No, Luca. You're going to be okay. You're going to live.
Thanks.
Luca let out a weak smile. Then, Luca slowly closed his eyes. His face was sweet and gentle, just like when he was sleeping in Orlok's lap before. Luca? Luca looked like he was really just asleep, like he was having a wonderful dream. His hand was still warm in mine. Only now, he wasn't breathing anymore. Who wants to play Suika game instead? I wonder if this is just like a thing that happens in the bad end. In a bad end or just a good end. Hold on. Luca. PioFiore. Luca.
Warlock. Root. Ending. Okay. No. I don't think there's a way around that. God damn it. I hate it. It's stupid. Okay. Why did this happen? Orlok looked at Luca and muttered aloud, his voice strained. Was there any meaning in all this? Luca was. I held back my tears. Luca was able to fall asleep with such peace because you baptized him. You did well, Orlok. Orlok gasped for air as he stood up and stumbled out of the room. For a moment, I wondered what I should do. I stood up and chased after him. Orlok was looking up, looking at the night sky. I can't listen to him cry. His wails resonated throughout the area. I wanted to save him. Orlok. Oh, that's a good one. God damn. I couldn't leave Orlok alone like this, out here in the open. I embraced him from behind. Tears rolled from my eyes down my cheeks. I couldn't do anything. God, why didn't you do anything? Oh, this voice performance is so good. Oh my god. Why? I held him as tightly as I could, as the voice of his grief cut through the air. There's been no God all along. We've been forsaken. Faith means nothing. This was the first time I had seen him express anger and frustration towards God. We did this to him. Back at the church, I had witnessed countless births and countless deaths. I had seen my share of pain and sorrow through the people. When I was younger, I was also angry and upset. I had tried to calm Orloff. Words are hard. I'm gonna drink my coffee now. I tried to calm Orlock, choosing my words carefully. That's not true. God has not forsaken us. There is a God out there. I know it.
どうしてそんなことが言える?
How can you say that? What God decides doesn't always make sense to us. We can't see what he sees. God is helping us to live strong lives.
そんなの信じられない.
How do you expect me to believe that? It's only a belief. Yes, you may be right, but it's what I believe from the bottom of my heart. I believe that I've been able to survive until now because of God's blessing. I don't remember who my parents are, but I was able to live happily at the church. I met you, Orlock. You saved me. That's why I'm still alive, even with the Mafia after us. Don't you think this is a blessing?
それは
But God gave us the opportunity to come together. Luca was able to meet you, Orlock. I don't think that was a coincidence.
俺は何もできなかったのに.
But I couldn't do anything for him. No, you helped make Luca's departure a peaceful one. Tears filled my eyes again, just thinking about Luca's sweet and calm expression. Orlock, you saved Luca's soul. God has his own plan. Perhaps we can't count on being saved by faith alone. But you did save Luca, and I think that's significant. Orlock quietly listened to me, then took a deep breath. After a long silence,
ありがとう.
thank you, Pink. Oh my god.
俺にとっての救いは
You're my savior.
きっとあなただ.
God damn. Stop it. No matter what happens, you will always be my savior. Instead of replying with words, I embraced Orlock even stronger. Under the star-dusted sky, we sought salvation from each other. The next day, we buried Luca's body in silence. The crimson red bled across the sky.
By the time we returned, night had settled in. We trudged back to our home without a single word exchanged.
ようやく戻ったか。待ちわびたぞ。
Yang! Finally back. I was growing tired of waiting. Hi, baby. Hi, sir. Hello, my husband. A silhouette stood near the entrance. Orlok quietly positioned himself in front of me. After all this time, no words of welcome for me. How unkind. Welcome home, darling. To think you're in grief over a measly worm amongst the filthy maggots here at Strong. Okay, you're dead to me. How dare he? Yang's words infuriated me. But then it dawned on me that Yang knew we lived here. Yang, take that back. Orlok yelled in anger at Yang. Yang simply smiled eerily. I have complete confidence in what I say, so no, I won't take it back. But if you really want me to, use that dagger of yours and make me. No, I don't want to kill anymore. And that applies to the likes of you too. Do you think I'd take no for an answer? Huh? Something bad was about to happen. Suddenly... Oh! Someone grabbed me from behind. I feel the cold, sharp back of a knife touching my neck. I may be able to wrestle myself out of... Don't even try. Wait. Wasn't he sleeping back there? There were a lot of people living on the streets here, so it wasn't unusual to see people sleeping along the walls. The sight of it was normal to me. Unbelievable. I can't believe he made me do this. He sounds familiar. The man let out a sigh and threw off the cloth he had draped over himself. Lee! I hate you. I looked around the others against the wall. I thought they were Strano residents, but they all looked at me with cold eyes. Don't tell me they're all Lao Shu. I'm sure this situation isn't much of a disadvantage to you. Let her go. As long as you play with me, no harm will come to her. Now then, what do you say, Orlok? Fine. I'll defeat you before freeing her. Now you're talking. Let's go. Orlok. The battle between the two began. Yang brandished a curved blade in each hand. He swung them at once against Orlok. Orlok barely avoided them. He jumped to the side, then kicked the ground to close in on Yang. Orlok dodged Yang's swings and stabbed him in the thigh. Blood spewed from Yang's leg. For a moment, I turned my eyes away. But I should watch Orlok fight. He's fighting for me. It was the only thing I could do now. I needed to see the outcome of the battle. He was blown back. Orlok! Yang kicked him away with his unharmed leg. What? Is that all you have? Yang pulled the dagger out of his thigh, then tossed it back to Orlok. I was certain I saw Orlok's dagger pierce through Yang's leg. Despite the depth of the wound, Yang didn't show any sign of pain. Try and kill me. He will. Orlok picked up the dagger and positioned himself. I liked your sharp eyes from before, but now you've become weak. Too bad. I suppose your master has dulled you. Orlok immediately closed in again, thrusting his dagger at Yang. Yang quickly parried the strike. Ah, now you want to play, but you're still not ready. Yang swung his blade. It looked like Orlok avoided the slash, but it must have grazed him. Blood began to seep from Orlok's abdomen. Make no mistake, Orlok. If you lose, you and that girl will die. Yang closed in to take a swing. Orlok was moving away from Yang to try and find an opening. He seemed hesitant to strike. He wasn't moving like before. Orlok's body became etched with cuts each time Yang swung his blades. You want to die? Why, you? Yang's expression didn't change at all. He was hit a good number of times with the dagger Orlok was using. Still, Yang moved around as if it didn't hurt at all. He ran towards Orlok with blood spewing out of his punctured leg. I felt a shiver go down my spine. Was he really human? Your moves are too simple. Why aren't you aiming for my heart, my skull, my spine, or any other critical areas? I told you already. I don't want to kill. I don't want to kill without any reason. I'll still beat you, but without taking your life. The fire in Yang's eyes started to fade. He gave a deep sigh. He turned around and looked at Lee. Do it. Understood? I felt something hit me. He punched me hard in the stomach. I felt agonizing pain spread through my body. Pink! Orlok screamed my name. I said it gently, but I'm not yelling. I don't yell. My
My stomach was churning. I couldn't keep myself up. I felt like I was going to collapse. But he forced me to stand, then struck me again. The pain was excruciating. Yang, you said you wouldn't harm her. Oh, you thought I'd keep my promise? You forget who you're dealing with, disciple. But this is your fault. You're boring me here, Orlok. If you're not going to play with me, then I'll play with our dear saint here. Stop. Yang smiled widened, hearing his scream. Stop. Our saint won't involve herself with me? Which means she will bore me too. Too bad. Well, I'll have no use for a hostage that won't do anything. I should kill her. I'll kill you. Get him, baby. I could hear the faint sound of his voice with no trace of emotion. I'll kill every last one of you. Orlok! Oh no! He went into rage mode. Then suddenly, Orlok vanished from sight. What? Yang stifled a yell. In front of him was Orlok. I heard the sound of a blade cutting flesh. Orlok pulled back. Vibrant red gushed forth. Orlok vanished from sight again. Suddenly, I was released. I crumpled to my knees. At the same time, Lee dropped to the ground in front of me. The thick smell of blood filled the air. Why, you... The Laoshu who surrounded us were pointing their guns at Orlok. Orlok vanished again without a sound. That's my little assassin. What? The men fell to the ground like toys. The moonlight reflected an eerie red flowing over the Strano alley. That's it. Good, Orlok. Oh, his laugh was so good. I'm so mad at him still. But that laugh, oh my god. I'm in love with him. I can't help it. Yang was laughing like a madman. He was still standing, despite the amount of blood spilling from his body. Ah, yes. Death needs to be this grandiose. You were the one I was waiting for. The one who could kill me. Oh, its voice. Orlok stood silently in front of me. He gently lifted me up from the ground. You won't get away, Orlok. I'll show you that you can only survive in a blood-stained world. Don't deceive yourself.
永遠に
Orlok turned his back on Yang's mad laughter and ran off with me in his arms. He sped through the streets. He finally stopped at the hill outside of town. Okay. Stop being down bad for Yang. Develop. Yang dead? I heard about it from a reliable source. It looks like it happened in Strano. So our target is in Strano then. I was able to track them down up until they had left Rosberg. Same here. But that would mean that they've parted ways from Rosberg. If so, it was a convenient development. I could kill him without offending the church. That would help the Foul Zone in the long run. It took a while to get the information we needed. And now we can finally make our move. I wouldn't. Yes. I've been waiting for this. It was time to take action. He finally stopped at the hill outside of town. He lowered me down, then dusted the dirt off my legs. Are you okay? It hurts a bit, but not so much. Despite the battle he had been through, he hardly had a drop of blood on him. I was sure we both smelled like blood from being surrounded by the dead and dying. But I felt desensitized to the smell in my current state. Where are we? We can't stay in Strano, so I was thinking of hiding out here. But I looked around the area. We were at the hill northeast of Berlin. This place was known for its eerie ruins that no one dared venture near. I heard rumors that the Grim Reaper appears here in the ruins. I do hope we'll be okay. I took some consolation in the idea that no one in their right mind would come here. Don't worry. I know this place well. Okay. You do? I've been here many times, and I have never seen a Grim Reaper around. Wait, could the Grim Reaper be Orlok? Orlok lifted me and sat me down on a rock. Looking at me, he opened his mouth to speak, then shut it again. After trying a few more times, he finally spoke up. I'm sorry. I've killed again. Orlok. I killed people before, believing it to be necessary, that it was all for God. But what I did back there wasn't necessary. All I did was satisfy Yang's bloodlust. His body was shaking, and I wasn't sure if it was from anger or sorrow. I just killed and killed and killed. So many have died tonight.
Oh, baby. Listen, I don't mind a man with bloodlust. See, my previous love interests.
No. Not again. I didn't want to kill. I didn't want to kill anyone.
It's okay. It happens. Orlok's emotions erupted as his wails resonated through the ruins. But all I could do was watch as Orlok fell deeper into despair. What should I say to ease his burden? I had no clue. How long had it been? It was night, and we were still in hiding. Orlok suddenly stood up and glared into the darkness ahead. His face showed desperation. What is it?
Someone is coming. Stay back.
Okay. I heard footsteps approaching. Is it Church Twink?
Who's there?
Orlok questioned the darkness. A silhouette appeared in reply. Oh! The director? What the hell? Why are you here? Are you a bigger player than I think you are? I guess so. In front of us was a man wearing a mask and attire that stood out amongst the ruins.
Why are you here? There's no reason for you to be looking for us.
Is it someone he knows? The man in the mask lowered his head, but it did not put Orlok at ease. Please, if you will listen but a moment, I simply came to thank you.
Thank? I've done nothing to be thanked for.
Orlok answered him, confused. The man's unnatural gestures and politeness was only making me anxious. Orlok, do you know him?
I sold him some intel before. He's the director at the casino in Arca.
I suppose his behavior befitted his position. I am the director, Sebastiano Gallia, at your service. Talking in these rooms is so drab. Why not come to our casino? It is very cold in here as well. No doubt uncomfortable to stay for the night. At the director's invitation, Orlok shook his head with a frown. We have no reason to be at the casino. I don't see you as an ally either. It's not a risk we're willing to take. How unfortunate. Does the Signorina agree? Huh? Hearing the director's words, I hesitantly replied, I don't know what's going on here. Something isn't right here. I'm sorry, but I won't be going. This has got to be some kind of trap. Come on now. I insist you think it over. I could not leave here empty-handed after such a journey. It didn't seem that the director planned on backing down so easily. Senior Orlock should have no problem spending the night out here. But it must be excruciating for fine Signorina, wouldn't you say? Winter is upon us, and having a lady stay in such conditions without proper attire is harsh indeed. If you truly care for the young lady, you should treat her with the utmost respect. Forgive me for my rudeness, but I noticed that she doesn't look well. My body was cold, without a doubt. The pain from being punched was still throbbing inside my stomach. The casino is nice and warm. I shall prepare a fine meal for you both. You should know, I'm not your enemy. I promise I shall not harm either of you. I'm not sure what to say. Even after the director's reassurance, something felt wrong. Fine. We'll go to the casino. Orlock! I cried out in surprise, as I didn't expect him to take the offer. Don't worry. This time, no matter what happens, I will protect you. If the director betrays us, I'll kill him. Simple as that. Damn, boy! You became murder happy. Again. Is this how we're playing this now? Is this how we doing it? Stabbing everybody? I mean, I get it, but... I also don't get it. I think I made some wrong choices, y'all. Hearing Orlock state that thought without emotion brought a shiver to my spine. I forced myself to look away from the fear shrouding me as I nodded in response. Okay. If Orlock is alright with it, then I'll go to the casino too. Our mental and physical capacity had likely reached their limits. I'm just putting some lotion on my hands. That was about the only rationale as to why we decided to head to the casino in Arca. We were led into the director's office. He brought a tea set and snacks on a tray for us. There were ham and cheese sandwiches, buttery and toasted to perfection. He also brought us some cute pistachio macarons. And this here is my favorite, chamomile tea. It works wonders for a tired soul. The director began to pour the tea into 3 white cups. He took a cup and then proceeded to sip on the chamomile tea.
もちろんおかしなものは入っておりません。どうぞお召し上が
Ah,
りくだ
and
さい。
there's nothing peculiar in them. Please enjoy. Thank you very much. I slowly and carefully held the teacup in both hands and took a sip. It tastes good. The warm tea was melting the frigid cold out of my body.
それでわざわざ
So
あそ
what
こ
is
に
it
来てま
you
で
wanted to talk to us
俺たち
about?
に話したかったことって。
Orlok looked at him sternly. It seemed his suspicion had not completely abated.
ねえ、
Ah,
改めて
yes.
申し上げますが、
To reiterate
私
what I
は
said
あなたに
before,
感謝している
I
の
wanted
です。
to extend my utmost gratitude.
さっきも言ってたけど
And, as I asked
感謝って
before,
何のこと？
what do you mean by gratitude? Hearing Orlok's words, the director's mouth widened in a happy arc.
ここだけの話。
Just
私は
between us,
この町
I
のマフ
actually
ィアが
detest
嫌
the
いなの
mafia
です。
here,
ですから、
which
こ
is
のとこ
why
ろ
your
のあなたの
achievements
功
have
績
been
には
nothing but
目を見
phenomenal
張る
to
もの
me.
がありました。
功績？
Achievements? Orlok responded curiously, and the director replied with joy.
ファルツォーネのアンダーボスであるニコ
You
ラ・
not
フラン
only
チ
got
スカ
rid
を
of
迎
the
え撃ち、
Valzone's
ラオ
underboss
シュの
Nicola
ヤンも始末
Francesca,
なさいました。
but the Lao Shu's leader, Yang.
頭を失った
The
ラ
Lao
オシュ
Shu
は
are
猛毒も
hapless
当
without
然
him.
おのずと
I
壊
can
滅に
see
追い
them
込まれるで
disbanding
しょ
very
う。
soon. Where
ど
did
こ
you
で
hear that?
その情
Orlok killed Yang only a few hours ago. He already knows about that? But it feels weird hearing him call the killing an achievement.
どの組織にも
I'm very
組
proud
織
of my
外に
intel.
も私
My
の部
men
下
are
がおり
scattered
まして
throughout the town,
情報の
and
速さには
even
自
within
信
the
が
mafia
ございま
itself.
す。
なら前に
Then
わざ
why
わざ
did you
俺から
buy
情報を買っ
information
たのは
from me
どうして？
before?
その時はそうす
It
る
was a
必要があった
necessity
だ
back
け
then.
のこと。
That
ところで
aside,
今
may
後
I
お
ask
二
what
人
your
はどのよ
plans
う
are?
に動くつもりなのか伺っ。
それは
Well,
彼女を連れて街を
will
出
you
ます
leave
か？
the town with
その
her?
先は
To
短
where?
期の安全は確保できる
I
でしょうが、
suppose her safety can be assured for some time,
マフィアからも峡谷
but it
からも
also means
追っ
that
て
you
を
will be
かけられ
hunted
る
by
ことに
both
な
the
るかもしれ
mafia
ません
and the
ね。
church.
とは申しましても、マフィア相手でしたら、
That
ブ
said,
ルローネ、
if you leave
ひいては
Berlin
イタリアか
and
ら離
ultimately
れれば、
Italy,
さしたる
I'm
脅
sure
威で
they
も
will
ない
pose
のでしょ
little
う。
threat to you two. He sounded as if he were belittling the mafia. It was clear from our short conversation that he did despise the mafia.
ですが、
But
峡
that
谷
may
に
not
対
apply
し
to
て
the
はそうも
church.
いかないかと。
They have
世
followers
界中に
throughout
信
the
徒
world.
はいるのでしょう。峡谷を敵に回
Your
せば、
identities
世
would be
界中に顔
disclosed,
は知れ渡り、
making it
特
nearly
に敬虔
impossible
な
to
国で
flee
は
to
入
countries
国を拒
controlled
否さ
by
れ
the
る程度
church's
の穏
rule.
便さでは済まないかと。よく考えて動
Therefore,
かれた方
I
がよろ
strongly
しいかと思
suggest
い
that
ま
you
すよ。
think wisely before making your next move. He's right. What should we do? He said to think wisely, but no matter how hard I thought, everything that came to my mind was shrouded in the haze.
さて、今夜
Now
はこ
then,
こでお休みください。
please rest here for
仮眠室
tonight.
のベッドをお使
I
い
have
いただけ
prepared
る
a
よ
room
う
for
手
you
配
two
さ
to
せてい
make
ただきま
yourselves
す。
comfortable.
今はお食事をどう
For
ぞ。
now,
で
please
は
enjoy the meal.
私は一度失
Now
礼いた
then,
します。
if you excuse me. The director bowed politely, then left the room with the empty cups in hand. We were left together alone. Without much to do, we continued our meal. Great hand. Dante. Ugh, my ears hurt a bit from my headset. I looked through the information at hand. My men from all around town and from all ranks had gathered the information in front of me now. I had intel from all from the politicians we support, as well as from various investors. After making sure I had all the cards I needed, I mumbled,
そろそろ動くか。
"It's time to move." Somehow, I couldn't recognize my voice. It sounded too mechanical. We were left alone together. Without much to do, we continued our meal. There wasn't much to do, so I took a look around the room. It was well kept. I noticed a picture frame face down on the desk. Orlok suddenly whispered to me,
ディレットーレは本当に俺たちに対して
Director may actually be on our side.
感謝してるって言葉も
His words of thanks seem to make sense.
I didn't feel like he wanted to hurt us either.
ディレットーレの言う通り
Maybe he's right.
Huh?
峡谷を敵に回してたら
If we make
俺たち
enemies
はずっ
within
と
the
追われ
church,
続けることに
we
なる
may be hunted by them forever.
だから
If so,
陛下にもう一度会いたい
I want to go and meet His
会って
Excellency
きちんと話
and
がした
talk
い
it over with him.
あの人は嘘をつ
He
いて
may
い
have
たのか
lied
も
to
しれ
me,
ない
but at his core, he really is a
立派な人なんだ。
respectable person.
本当にきっと
I'm sure
話せ
he'd
ば分かって
understand
く
if
れ
I
る
spoke to him.
I don't think he will. And if he doesn't?
その時はあなた
Then
を
we'll
連れ
run
て逃げ
away.
る
It won't change our
今と変わらない。
situation.
I pursed my lips and began to think. Maybe it's worth a shot. No matter what the result, it wouldn't be worse than now. With my mind set, I nodded slowly back at Orlok. Chapter 8.
El Patron.
Okay. We came back to the hotel where Bishop Rosberg was to meet him. We stood in front of the door to his room, and Orlok proceeded to knock on the door.
俺です陛下
Excuse me,
お話し
Your
したいことが
Excellency.
あります
I have a matter to discuss with you.
Not a single sound responded to Orlok's voice. Could he be out?
そんなはずはないけど
I highly doubt it.
Suddenly, a loud voice answered our whispers.
来るんじゃない。逃げろ。
Don't come in. Run, Orlok.
Huh? The moment the voice yelled at us, we heard chaos ensue beyond the door. That was Bishop Rosberg. Before I figured out who the voice belonged to, Orlok had already kicked open the door. He jumped into the room without any hesitation. I followed in after Orlok. What? Orlok stood stunned at the sight in front of us. Even I couldn't say a word. Bishop Rosberg was in the room, but aside from him was the Visconti boss, Gilbert Redford, standing right next to him. The Visconti men had their guns pointed at us.
陛下に
What did you do to His Excellency? Orlok's voice was more than just confused. It had a deep tone of anger to it. Bishop Rosberg was kneeling on the ground with his hands tied behind his back. Exactly what he deserves. After all, he has sinned against God. What? What's going on? What route am I on? What is my life right now? Somebody save me. Help. He also did something unheard of as a member of the church. Ain't that right? How dare you shame him like this? Orlok was growling and ready to pounce at any moment. But he couldn't move. Orlok knew the moment he moved, Bishop Rosberg would be shot and killed. Gilbert Redford dismissed Orlok's menacing growl. Our treasurer found an odd financial trail during his investigation of Rosberg. You know how hard it was to get all the details? I even had to send my men to Veneto, of all places. What are you trying to imply? I can't let scum like him get away. He didn't answer Orlok's question, simply stating his plans for the man on the ground. Orlok yelled out loud in defense of Bishop Rosberg's innocence. No, His Excellency is a great man. No, he's not. Orlok, baby, we know he's not a great man. Far be it from me to defend Bishop Rosberg. He's not a good man or a great man, but I don't think he deserves to be executed by the mafia currently. I'm just saying that Gil and Dante are taking it a little bit too far right now. Just a teeny bit. Itty bit. Little bit. Little bit. It felt odd watching what was going on. I couldn't trust Bishop Rosberg at all from our interactions, but Orlok saw him as someone worthy of praise. Wait. Bishop Rosberg slowly opened his mouth to interrupt Orlok. Please spare Orlok. I am the sinner here. I will pay with my life. Okay, well, I guess he just wants to die, so it's fine. Just get rid of him. Your Excellency, what are you saying? Order me to fight as a disciple. Please say it is by the order of God. If you give me the command, I will fight to the death. Orlok pleaded to Bishop Rosberg for a reason to take up arms. Gilbert Redford wasn't saying anything and looked down at Bishop Rosberg. It was as if he was waiting for him to say the words he wanted to hear. Bishop Rosberg looked up at him and took a deep breath. Then he boldly asked a request of his captors. Please, spare Orlok. Spare my son. What? No, I forgot this. Oh my god. What the frickle frackle? Huh? Your Excellency?
This was his sin? I mean, yeah, it's a big no-no, but like, whatever. Orlok was looking on at Bishop Rosberg, unable to comprehend what was happening. My son was only following my orders. His sins are mine to bear. Catholicism is whack. In-game. Orlok's eyes were open wide in shock, and Bishop Rosberg looked straight into Orlok's eyes. I'm sorry, Orlok. What are you? I am a devout follower of God, and yet I fell in love with a woman. I fell in love with her the moment I met her. Bishop Rosberg bit his lip, then took another deep breath. My foot's falling asleep. He continued. But she disappeared without telling me anything. It was about then that I rose to my current position and was called back to the church. Days passed with work, busy beyond belief. I had no time to look for her. After a few years passed, I finally discovered her whereabouts. She had already passed away from illness. It was then I learned she bore a child. Bishop Rosberg stopped, then looked at Orlok. Orlok stood there, still stunned, in a complete daze. Bishop Rosberg took a deep breath yet again and closed his eyes. Having a son would have endangered my position, but I couldn't kill my son. Yet I was scared of losing my position and having the public know that I had not been celibate. Bishop Rosberg raised his head and spoke aloud. Orlok is my son. He is proof of my bond with the person I loved. I don't want him to die. All his sins are mine to bear. Therefore, I shall pay with my life. So please, let Orlok go. Well said. Gilbert, stop it! Don't be a little shithole. Stop. That's the weakest stop I've ever said in my life. Stop. Yeah, we're going with that one. Bishop Rosberg smiled very briefly at Orlok. Bang. Woo. Whatever route I'm on, I don't like it, but I went Looney Tunes by this point, so we're good. A gunshot resounded through the room. Bishop Rosberg crumpled to the ground. Blood poured from his head and pooled on the floor underneath him. I can't let you go, but this should suffice as repercussion. As you wish, your son is free.
Gilbert Redford looked down and spoke to Bishop Rosberg's body. Gilbert, how dare you? Orlok's eyes blazed with fury and hatred. He drew his dagger. You'll pay. Orlok, wait. Calm down. I grabbed Orlok's arm to try and stop him, but he didn't even look my way. Let me go. Ah! Orlok pushed me back. He's going to kill someone again. Stop, Orlok, please. I pleaded at the top of my voice, but my words fell upon deaf ears. I was going to let you go, but sure, why not? Gilbert! You did cause me trouble after all. I can't say I'm not itching for a fight. He pointed his gun at Orlok. Protect the boss. Shield him. What is this route? Oh my god. Why is it so Looney Tunes? Help me. I think I'm on the tragic route, because this does not feel like a good end. The Visconti lined in front of their boss to shield him from Orlok's dagger. Orlok would have to go through them to reach Gilbert. Then I will kill you all. Orlok's growl was cold and menacing, enough to make me hold my breath. He drew close to the human wall and found his first victim. He plunged his dagger into the man's head. The sight dried my throat in an instant. Orlok kicked the man away, pulling out his dagger. Stay calm. We're not outside. He can't move as much in here. Don't rush. Take it easy. That's bad advice, Gilbert. Understood, boss. Orlok looked coldly at the Visconti, getting information to take him down. Orlok then moved about quickly, so that they couldn't target him. He zigzagged through the men and pounced at them like a wild beast, weaving through the rain of bullets. Orlok's dagger found each man's chest precisely as he locked onto them, and threaded between the gaps to reach them. Ugh. Damn it. Orlok reaped their souls, one at a time. He's really gonna kill them all. This battle was different from any of the battles Orlok had fought before. Oh my god. Words. Next. A single shot took a small chunk of flesh away from Orlok's shoulder. I thought I'd get your heart with that shot. Guess you're faster than I thought. Or maybe you were just very lucky. In any case, you're a pain in the ass. Worry about yourself. Orlok. He no longer cared about his injuries. He hadn't taken a critical hit just yet, but I knew he had his limits. Orlok's body was slowly bleeding from the hits he took. His coat was marked red with red bullet holes. And yet, the fire of anger and hatred in his eyes continued to burn. You have no one left to protect you, Orlok said coldly. You think I need to be protected to fight? We haven't even started. Come on, let's do this, Orlok. Instead of being afraid, Orlok's eyes narrowed. Orlok suddenly positioned his dagger and charged forward. Straight at me, eh? Bravo. Orlok tilted his head slightly to avoid the gunfire aimed at his head. Bullets kept flying at him, but Orlok dodged them easily with the slightest of movements. He kept his eyes on his target without feeling the bullets grazing his skin. Not bad, but you ain't gonna win this fight just by dodging. After moving clear of the bullets, Orlok knelt for a moment to take a breath. He then stood up again and quickly dashed towards his target. You insane? Ugh. Gilbert fired at Orlok with a steady hand. But Orlok didn't dodge this time. Instead, he took the bullet. Without even flinching, Orlok drew his arm back and threw something. What was that? Gilbert blocked whatever was thrown at him with the base of his gun. On the floor was a gun that Orlok must have picked up when he was kneeling. Deflecting the gun had created an opening. It was more than enough time for Orlok to act in that moment. No, the handsome man! Gilbert Redford was smiling. His smile didn't warp a bit, even with the dagger through his neck. He fell to the ground with a dull thud. A lone survivor yelled out his boss's name. Orlok! I yelled his name, at which Orlok slowly turned my way. It's over. It's all over. I couldn't find the right words to say, surrounded by the massacre. He slowly dragged himself towards me. Suddenly, a gunshot was heard. The bullets pierced Orlok's arm and thigh. Huh? He let go of his dagger. Orlok didn't seem to know what just happened to him. Orlok! I cried out his name and caught him in my arms before he fell to the ground. That was easier than I thought. Fucking Dante Falzone, oh my god. I literally forgot about him. I think this is the tragic end. I can feel it in my whole body. Standing behind Orlok was Dante Falzone, flanked by the members of his family. I couldn't hold up Orlok's limp body for very long. I fell to the ground with him in my arms to try and protect him. Falzone. Why? Dante didn't answer Orlock. Instead, he looked down at Gilbert Redford's body. You both put up a fight, but it looks like things unfolded as you expected. Dante mumbled without any emotion. As he expected, the Falzone and the Visconti were working together? Please, run. I can't leave you behind, Orlock. He forced himself up and tried to cover me as I raised my voice. Take him away. Just because he can't move doesn't mean he's not dangerous. Knowing him, he'll bite back even if only his head was remaining. Dante, oh my god. That is so extreme. Dante gave calm orders to his men, then came near me. He wasn't looking at Orlock anymore. Me? Before I knew it, Dante placed a white handkerchief over my mouth. Right, I'm the key maiden. Oh my god. He still wants me alive. Jesus Christ. I could tell my strength was fleeting the moment I smelled the handkerchief. And that was all I could remember. Slowly I awakened. Where am I? Bed? I was sleeping on a surprisingly soft and plush bed. I held my throbbing head as I sat myself up. We're gonna say, because I don't remember this tragic ending, we're gonna say pay attention to the trigger warnings here, just in case, because it is a tragic ending from like my deepest guttural feelings, and I don't like where this is going. So, what are our trigger warnings? They're violence, drugs, sexual content, SA, human trafficking, and otome nonsense. So we want to pay attention to the SA one right now. Just, that could be something that is coming up here. As a warning. Okay? Okay. I missed a sentence. The room was dark, but I could tell it was adorned with the most elegant of ornaments. I looked around again and saw a white shadow. I slowly lowered myself from the bed. Orlock! He was on the ground, and I could smell blood coming from his body. I need to treat you. That was when it finally struck. We've been detained by the Falzone. Is this the Falzone's manor? We're also going to pay attention to otome nonsense. Pink, are you all right? Yes, I'm fine, but I could tell immediately that Orlock was in critical condition. Orlock couldn't get himself up with the wound on his arm. Huh? I heard a loud clang and looked down at his feet. Orlock's ankles were shackled. Horrible. That's not all. I think I've been drugged. I can't move a muscle. Who would... I heard a clink. I quickly turned around and stared carefully into the darkness.
there's someone else here. Then I noticed sharp azure eyes looking at me. I don't like this. God damn it. I should have just quit while I was ahead when Luca died. Fuck this game. Fuck this ending. Fuck PioFiore. Ah. Dante Falzone. Dante placed his glass on the desk and stood up from his chair. He watched us menacingly as he drew closer to us. How do you feel, Pinker NeonNova? I embraced Orlok's body on the floor as I looked up at Dante. Why did you bring us here? I thought you wanted to kill us. Even if it wasn't intentional, you two spat on the Burlone Mafia's name. And so, you both must face repercussions. I won't kill you, since that would be too easy. I couldn't speak a word in response. Dante continued coldly. I can't kill the church's assassin so easily. Gilbert knew that all along. If the Visconti could kill him, so be it. If not, I would kill Orlok myself. I must say, it was unexpected to see you two return to town. It made my life easier. I'm sorry, Pink. If only I didn't suggest us going to meet with His Excellency. It's not your fault, Orlok. I shook my head and hugged Orlok tightly to keep him from shedding any tears. You only thought for the best for our future. Pink. I held Orlok's wounded body in my arms as I pleaded to Dante. Please, Signor Falzone, please save Orlok. He was simply being used by Bishop Rosberg, so please. No, the sin is mine. It's only natural for me to atone for them. Orlok. Dante, go ahead and kill me. That is... You're right. But please let her go. Dante looked at the both of us with cold eyes as we were trying to save each other. He's gonna do worse. It seems you two are quite close. You two want the other to be saved. And yet, here I am without the ones I wanted to protect. Oh no. Dante nonchalantly continued while glaring at Orlok. Orlok, you killed my family. Hence, I have the right to take from you what you hold precious. Precious? Wait, no. Gilbert already killed your father, which only leaves her. No! Jesus fucking Christ! This could be worse. No, it can't. This is worse than the torture scene. No, that's wrong. She was originally ours, and you stole her from us. I'm a goddamn human being person with my own wants and desires. I don't belong to you if I say I don't, sir. Shut the fuck up. I wanted to refute what he said. I wanted to say he protected me. But the moment I stand against Dante, the moment I instigate him, the results would be obvious. Orlok's death. I continued my plea to Dante as I shook my precious person behind me. Please, I'll do anything, so please spare Orlok. Fine. I won't kill him. Under one condition. Condition? Hand her over, Orlok. Dante looked away from the desperate Orlok and instead looked at me. The condition is simple. The physical zone. I will own you. I don't like it. Jesus Christ. Do you understand what I mean? Don't you? Well, Falso, will you take care of her? Can you promise not to hurt her? I won't kill her. I hate you! God damn it! That's not enough. Dante kept staring at me without responding to Orlok's demands. He probably knew what I was going to say. If there's no other choice, if I can save Orlok, I slowly let go of Orlok and rose to my feet. I replied to the owner of the mansion, who was looking at me with emotionless eyes. I will be yours, Dante Falzone. Good. Orlok tried to force himself up, while yelling at the decision I made. But I could only look at Dante now. And Dante was likewise only looking at me. That was completely unexpected. Dante held my waist and pulled me in to kiss me on the lips. I tried to move away, but I couldn't get him off of me. I didn't know what to do. I don't like it. We made a deal. You still don't know what it means, do you? I'm sorry, I just... Can I be done now? Got it. Sorry. And we're done! Yay! Cool. Key to the jail cell. I used the key to the cell and ran towards Orlok, shackled to the wall. Why are you here? We can talk later. First, let me get the shackles off. I crouched down. Suddenly, Orlok's shoulder twitched. Orlok? Were you with Dante? I can smell him on you. Despair sunk inside me like a rock when I saw Orlok close his eyes in suffering. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize. This is all my fault. Okay, I wasn't able to protect you. And after all that I said, Orlok looked at me with tears in his eyes and pled to me. You shouldn't come down here. Dante won't forgive you, so... I want you to escape, Orlok. Please, as long as you escape. Pink, why are you risking your life for me? With what I've done, I know you hate me already, but Orlok, you're someone precious to me. I would never hate you. I'm happy because I love you. But I'm... His straightforward confession brought a sharp pain to my heart. Nope. That's not true. You're beautiful. No different from when I first met you. Orlok. I love you. I loved you for a long time. Always. Even now. Beautiful. That's all I want in life. I just want them to be happy and in love. His words bring joy to my heart. Pink. Orlok looked at me, then slowly moved his face closer to mine. I closed my eyes to receive his gesture. A very short-lived kiss. If our lips moved away, we would never touch each other again. This was likely our first and last kiss. I gently released my lips from his and spoke to him with a trembling voice. Please escape and live. I can't go with you. If I leave, he will probably come after you. So Orlok, please escape without me. Orlok smiled sadly, then shook his head. His eyes were gray with despair. I'll stay here. If I can't save you, I at least want to stay near you. Oh, baby. No, run away. Please. He may kill you. So be it. And I can't run anymore. Oh, do I remember? This is one of the worst tragic endings. I hate everything. Help me. Huh? Both my legs. I can't walk anymore. I didn't know what to say at this horrible revelation. Orlok was alive. The deal I made with Dante still held true. But this is... I heard footsteps coming down to the cell. I knew who was coming. I could sense him coming closer. Fear prevented me from turning around. The footsteps stopped right behind me. I heard a whisper in my ear.
引きか。
So you stole the key so you could elope with him.
そんなにオルロックが気になるか。
You're worried about Orlok. You really don't learn, do you? Ah,
そのうち
don't
お
worry.
前もお揃いにしてやろ
You'll be like him soon.
う。何、足が
Even if
使
you
えなくな
can't
ろうが
take
問題ない。
use your legs,
俺
I'll
がきち
still
んと
take
世
good
話
care
を
of
してやる。
you.
嬉しいだろ。
Happy now? No! Jesus fucking Christ. We would never be able to escape from this manor. I curse God for the first time in my life. Okay. Dope. Dope. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Awesome. Great. Love it. Great game. Wonderful. Awesome rating. Oh my god. Well, I'm dying now internally.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.